All right, there is a bunch of specific information that come out about Trump's tax cuts if he gets elected. He plans on a $48.1 billion tax cut directly to Fortune 500 companies, a $4.1 billion tax cut to the five biggest Wall Street banks, $3.1 billion to the five largest drug makers. We've got Trump guaranteeing the oil companies not only tax cuts across the board, but also the ability to write their own regulations for the low price of $1 billion paid directly to Donald J. Trump Foundation or Donald J. Trump Campaign. He also extended that same offer to a lot of business owners and big CEOs. We've also got the other planned cuts from the Republican side as a general. That is $1.5 trillion cuts to Social Security, including disability, raising retire age to 69, raises Medicare costs for seniors. It repeals the $35 insulin cap per month and the $2,000 prescription drug cap per year. It transitions Medicare into a premium support system, which actually raises the monthly payments and the monthlies for their insurance for the elderly. It cuts Medicare. It cuts the Affordable Care Act, and it cuts the children's health insurance by $4.5 trillion, and it takes out, more importantly, the pre-existing clauses for premiums for supplemental insurance. In addition, $5.5 trillion tax cuts for the rich, making the existing cuts permanent as well. So all of those tax cuts that Donald Trump gave in his first thing, who are still going, all of those tax cuts, oil changes for private jets and things like that, there is an additional $5.5 trillion in tax cuts going to those people. Nothing for the rest of us. He does say he's going to eliminate income tax in general, but mainly for the richer of everybody, which is going to do wonderful things for the deficit in this country. It also eliminates the clean energy tax cuts that were part of the Inflation Reduction Act, which is going to cost tens of thousands of jobs nationwide because it takes away the incentives for people to start building companies and having projects done with green energy. It completely eliminates the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. Now, this is in addition to the Consumer Protection Bureau that was basically defunded and disbanded when Trump was in office. That's when you saw everything in, basically consumer goods go a little bit nuts and companies really trying to take advantage of everybody because that regulatory body was disbanded. Well, now he's getting rid of the financial side of the Consumer Protection Bureau, which means banks, credit cards, loans, all this other stuff. That will all be a free-for-all like the Wild West again. Think before Dodd-Frank in the real estate market, which created the bubble and all the false numbers going back and forth. Yeah. Anyway, he's also going to raise housing costs by cutting the funding for rental assistance programs. He's cutting the funding for first-time mortgages for first-time buyers. And he is trying to dismantle all of those programs that help people who need the help the most. Republicans and Donald J. Trump himself has attacked everything from school food programs over the summers for children who need the help the most. They're attacking health care on a children's level in school. They're defunding all of these programs that help children basically not only keep themselves healthy, but educate themselves. This is getting way out of hand. This is not counting the deep dive into the Project 2025. It's not counting all of those dictatorish type of things that are also on the plate for 2025 if the Republicans keep power, hold power, or gain power in any way, shape, or form. We need to make sure none of this happens. We need more money in our country, which means we need to start collecting more tax revenue. If we don't start collecting more tax revenue from the people who have the tax revenue to collect, it's not going to do well for anything. We are so pissed off. We are so this and that and stressed out over money because there's none left in the kitty. Well, there's none left in the kitty because all these tax cuts. We don't have health care for all because there's no money to pay for it. They say it's too expensive to do, but yet they'll give $1 trillion, $1.5 trillion in tax cuts to the rich for a year. Well, it would cost less than $1.5 trillion to give every single American citizen universal health care to cover all their needs, so we no longer have to work our whole entire lives, save up whatever numbers, hundreds of thousands of millions of dollars to get sick once and lose every single penny and die without a dime. That is what we're facing right now if these keep going the way they're going. So if you're happy with paying $800 a month for your life-saving medication or $25,000 a month for your chemotherapy medications because you are unlucky enough to have gotten really, really sick, then by all means, if you're okay with all that, keep voting Republican. But if you're looking at the big picture and you're struggling in any way, shape, or form, or even if you are blessed enough to have a bank account that you can handle some stuff, just remember all it takes is one injury that your corporate paid insurance doesn't cover, and you will lose everything. Like hundreds of thousands of hardworking Americans that have dedicated their life to working for and supporting their families. That's part of the big picture here, ladies and gentlemen, and that is what's at stake for this election. So we need to look at this big, big, big picture in detail, and then look into the eyes of our children, look into the eyes especially of our daughters, with a nationwide abortion ban, with states monitoring menstrual cycles of our young daughters. And how much more do you need? When is it going to be too much for the staunchest of MAGA or diehard of Republicans to step back and go, whoa, 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 this is too out of hand? When are you going to look your daughters in the eye, your children in the eye, and say, I'm doing this for your future, and mean it? Because Republicans, this is what your elected officials plan on doing to our country and to our children. Do some research before you vote. Be diligent. Stay educated and be kind. We are all in this together. And there is one thing this country to do to stop this from happening. And that's what I suggest we all focus on. God bless.